They didn't change. They just stopped pretending. Every person wears a mask, a version of themselves polished enough to be accepted, soft enough to be trusted. But time doesn't transform anyone. It only peels away the layers until the truth starts to bleed through the cracks. People often confuse exposure with evolution. When someone shows their darkness, it's not because they became someone new, but because they no longer needed to hide who they were. Comfort exposes character. The moment they feel safe enough, their real intentions come crawling out from behind the act. What you called betrayal was never a change of heart. It was a confession without words. The hardest part isn't discovering the truth. It's realizing it was always there, disguised in small lies, half smiles, and perfect timing. Every conversation, every promise, every apology was a thread in the web they spun. When it breaks, the silence that follows feels colder than the lies ever did. The illusion of change comforts people because it keeps hope alive. It allows the mind to whisper that maybe, just maybe, they can become better. But some masks are not worn to change. They are worn to deceive. In the end, time does not heal deceit. It reveals it. The moment the act ends, the performance dies, and the real face emerges. That is when the truth finally breathes. And in that silence, the realization hits like a knife. They never changed. They only revealed who they were all along. People don't change. They adjust their masks. They adapt for comfort, for gain, for survival. Every smile, every apology, every promise is a calculated move on a chessboard of self-interest. When the reward disappears, the mask slips and the real face behind it stares back without shame. What most people call change is simply an act performed long enough to get what they want. In the beginning, it feels real. Their words seem honest, their gestures kind, their intentions pure. But behind that performance is strategy. People act good to be liked, to be trusted, to be accepted. They shapeshift into whatever image earns them validation. That kindness you admired was often convenience. That loyalty you believed in was leverage. Some are not kind souls. They are clever actors. The moment they have your trust, the effort fades, and the truth takes its place. When comfort enters, truth exits. As soon as someone believes they are safe in your life, their guard drops. They no longer feel the need to impress or to pretend. The tone changes. The energy shifts. Little by little, the performance ends. That is why the beginning of a relationship always feels magical, and the end feels like betrayal. It was never transformation. It was exposure. You didn't watch them change. You watched them stop performing. The reason so many fail to see it coming is because they are blinded by potential. People fall in love with the version of someone they created in their mind. They hold on to the fantasy of who they could become, not the reality of who they already are. When red flags wave, they call them misunderstandings. When lies surface, they call them mistakes. They rewrite the truth in softer words because it hurts less than acceptance. They showed their real nature long before the final disappointment. Every small act, every inconsistent word, every moment of silence after they hurt you was a warning. But hope is a powerful drug. It makes the mind see light in places already burned to ash. People hold on to the illusion that someone can become better, but what they're really doing is avoiding the truth that was visible from the start. The illusion of change survives because it protects the heart. It's easier to say someone changed than to admit they were never what you believed. It's easier to mourn who they became than to confront who they always were. But comfort built on lies always collapses. Once the mask cracks, it cannot be repaired. You can never unsee the truth once it's been revealed. At the core, people don't evolve morally. They adapt situationally. When life rewards honesty, they act honest. When deceit pays better, they lie. When empathy gains them attention, they appear kind. When it no longer benefits them, they turn cold. Change for most people is not growth. It is strategy. They become whatever keeps them in control of the situation. Real change is painful. It requires breaking the ego, confronting the mirror, and facing the destruction of self-image. Very few are willing to suffer through that. Most prefer the illusion, so they keep switching masks depending on who is watching. The next time someone claims they've changed, look at what happens when the situation no longer serves. Watch how fast the mask falls when there's nothing left to gain. That is the moment truth steps forward. People don't change. They just stop pretending to be what you wanted them to be. What you saw was never transformation. It was performance. Forgiveness has become a trap for those who confuse compassion with weakness. Every time someone betrays you and you forgive without consequence, you teach them how far they can go without losing you. Forgiveness does not fix patterns. It feeds them. It tells the other person that they can repeat the same act, whisper another apology, and everything will return to how it was. That is not peace. That is submission, disguised as kindness. People will keep showing you who they are until you finally believe them. The first betrayal is their fault, but everyone after that belongs to you. Each time you hand out another chance, you are not healing the bond. You are strengthening their illusion of control. The cycle never ends because they never had a reason to change. The only way to break it is to stop confusing your empathy for duty. Some people do not deserve another chance. They deserve distance. The truth is not complicated. It is simply uncomfortable. When someone shows a pattern, believe the pattern. Stop watching their apologies and start watching their behavior when they think you have forgiven them. That moment reveals everything. Energy never lies. A person's tone, their consistency, their treatment of others, those are the purest reflections of character. A snake does not become a dove simply because it sheds its skin. It only becomes more dangerous because it looks new again. Stop expecting transformation from those who refuse to face themselves. Change is not a promise. It is a process, and most are unwilling to endure the pain that comes with it. They want to be forgiven without reflection, loved without effort, and accepted without accountability. That is not growth. That is comfort. The longer you chase potential, the longer you remain blind to reality. The hardest part is letting go of the fantasy. Most people are not grieving the loss of a person. They are grieving the loss of the illusion they built around them. The version that existed in their mind was perfect, loyal, honest, and kind. But the real person never matched that picture. You loved who they pretended to be, not who they were. When the mask falls, it feels like death, but it is only the truth revealing itself. Stop bargaining with delusion. Stop waiting for someone to return to the version of themselves that never existed. Pain fades faster when it is faced, not avoided. Every time you replay the good memories to justify the bad, you delay your healing. Reality is not cruel. It is clarity in disguise. Once you accept what they have shown you, you stop needing explanations. You stop craving closure. You stop waiting for change. Transformation is not spoken into existence. It is forged through pain. Real change is not about words or promises. It is about death and rebirth of the self. It requires someone to destroy their ego, confront their flaws, and rebuild from nothing. That process is brutal. It takes isolation, accountability, and humility. Most people are too afraid of that kind of suffering. They would rather polish their mask than face their reflection. So they do not change. They hide better next time. You can spot the difference between an actor and a reformer by one thing: consistency. Those who truly change do not announce it. They show it through quiet transformation, not loud promises. They face consequences without complaint and choose discomfort over denial. But those who pretend will always use words as armor. They will talk about growth to distract you from their lack of it. They will cry about losing you, not because they value you, but because they lost control. Awareness is your greatest weapon. When you see people for what they are instead of what you wish them to be, you take back your power. The moment you stop expecting loyalty from the disloyal and honesty from the deceitful, your peace returns. Observation replaces expectation. You start reading energy instead of excuses. You begin to notice that true character is built in silence, not when eyes are watching. Do not be afraid to walk away. Distance is not punishment, it is protection. Protect your energy from those who drain it, your loyalty from those who exploit it, and your peace from those who disguise chaos as love. You cannot save someone who enjoys their darkness. You cannot heal someone who uses your forgiveness as a shield. The more chances you give, the deeper they learn how to wound you without consequence. The world teaches you to forgive endlessly, to hold on no matter what, to believe in second chances. But wisdom teaches something colder and truer. You can forgive and still close the door. You can understand someone's pain and still refuse to let them hurt you again. Forgiveness does not require access. It requires acceptance. Let them live with their choices while you walk free from the pattern. Real strength is not in holding on. It is in letting go with clarity. To see someone's truth and choose peace over chaos is not weakness. It is power. You stop chasing closure from those who thrive on confusion. You stop waiting for change from those who fear accountability. You begin to recognize that not everyone deserves redemption. Some lessons are meant to end with silence. When you stop trying to fix others, you start to fix yourself. The same energy once wasted on proving someone's worth can now be used to rebuild your own. Growth begins the moment you stop expecting it from others. The world will not suddenly become honest or fair, but you will. Awareness replaces pain, and clarity replaces hope. That is when you finally see that people were never confusing. You just kept rewriting their truth to protect your illusion. They did not change. They never intended to. They only showed you who they were, and you finally learned how to look. People don't change. They just remove the mask. Every smile, every apology, every promise was part of a disguise, meant to keep you blind to the truth. The moment you stopped serving their comfort, the mask slipped and the real face emerged. That was not betrayal. That was revelation. You did not lose them. You simply met who they truly were. Forgive if you must, but never forget what they showed you. Forgetting means giving them the power to repeat their deception. Forgiveness can free your heart, but memory protects your peace. Let the lesson stay alive inside you, not as bitterness, but as awareness. Truth does not destroy you. It rebuilds you. Lies are what rot the mind and chain the heart. Once truth burns through the illusion, it clears the way for strength to grow. The mirror never lies. It reflects what has always been there, waiting to be seen. The fire of truth burns away the masks, the false hope, and the fantasies you once clung to. It hurts at first, but pain is only temporary. What remains after the burn is clarity. You stop chasing explanations and start seeing patterns. You stop hoping for change and start recognizing truth. Do not become bitter. Become aware. Bitterness locks you in the past, but awareness sets you free. Awareness sharpens your instincts. Your silence becomes your power, and your distance becomes your defense. You stop needing revenge because you have something far more dangerous: understanding. You never really lose people. You lose the illusions that once blinded you. The truth was never meant to break you. It was meant to wake you. In the end, they did not change. You just finally opened your eyes.